Hey y'all, this is David. Wanted to answer a bunch of questions, hopefully with this one video. Several of y'all are wondering, was my house when hit by the tornado or was it straight line wind damage? I hope this will help you if you're in Williamson County. I'm using this because this is the clearest data we've got of the storm that came into Williamson County, and for that matter, the one into Davidson County as well, in southeast Davidson County. We'll try to hit on that very briefly at the end of this. This is the first video we've got. It's not a video, the image, I guess, of the Whitehall Farms area. This is straight line wind damage. The tornado we do not think started here, but the damage there was pretty significant. Tornado or not, that was at 6:59 a.m. If you come forward here to 7 a.m., this is the Monticello community here where we think the tornado started. There's still significant winds coming from Franklin High School north over by the rec center, and then it moved through those neighborhoods behind BGA. Here at 7:01 a.m., these are very strong winds. They may or may not have been tornado winds, but it doesn't really matter. They're still really, really strong. This is the first really big evidence of tornado winds at South Barry's Chapel Road. This storm cut a couple or several pine trees in half, just with the force of the wind. It tore up a shed, blew siding all over the place. Pretty significant damage. That continued here near the Morningside retirement community off General George Patton, over by Mallory Station Road. This is not far from Dave Ramsey's office. This is the Cool Springs Mall right here. This is EF1 damage. At this point, it was about to blow over the commercial air conditioner on top of H.H. Gregg, which we think happened somewhere around 7:04 a.m. These are very intense winds. The lumberyard sustained damage here in Cool Springs north of Moore's Lane. This blew a lot of the signage that way, kind of northeast. The video that was passed around a lot yesterday from Nissan is what this is looking at on radar. That video from the Nissan offices was not the video of the tornado itself, but the tornado was concealed by the rain that was wrapping around it. This is also the part of the storm where the individual took the photo, or maybe it was security camera footage, I'm not sure, from the gas station out front of the Home Depot off Moore's Lane. That was at 7:04 a.m. according to this radar image. But this was tornado for sure. Hard to say if this was tornado or straight line wind damage as the storm moved into Brentwood. This is the Moore's Lane, Wilson Pike, Crockett kind of area. I think there was some tornado damage in here. It was very difficult to confirm, but nevertheless, the winds are equally powerful, whether they are tornado winds or straight line winds. At this point, the radar thinks the winds are relaxing just a little bit, but it's still causing pretty big straight line wind damage just north of Ravenwood High School and south of Crockett Park itself. This was the part of the storm that actually blew the top couple rows of the lights of the football stadium at Ravenwood High School, blew them off where they're supposed to be. I think Andrew actually got a pretty good photo of that. That was at 7:06 a.m. The circulation centers, there might be two of them, one here on Concord Road, kind of over by where Edmondson Elementary is up here. This is Lansdowne, this is Brent Mead. So this is kind of right off Concord Road. There might have been a little circulation there, but there's also very, very broad and powerful straight line winds that were occurring as the storm was about to approach Governor's Club at 7:07 a.m. Run forward to 7:08. We got issues with the radar. This is not uncommon, but there's tornado damage here near the park, south of Governor's Club. And then that family that had the couple trees down hit their house, especially the one with special needs right here off Concord Road. We think that happened around 7:09 or 7:10 a.m. Then we got, obviously you've probably seen the photos of the tornadoes that crossed 65. We think this is tornado here. This is also just before it crossed the interstate. This is looking north into Cool Springs. This is probably when it's right over Dave Ramsey's office, H.H. Gregg, where it's EF1 strength there. And then here it is from the McEwen Overpass in Cool Springs, kind of taking a different angle at it, looking at it from across the interstate, or kind of near the interstate. So that was the Williamson County part of it. Once that tornado went north of the terminal radar, it was difficult to see. We can pick it up here with the main radar, the main radar at Old Hickory. And this is as the storm is crossing Nolensville Road and moving into Cane Ridge. There's no real tornado debris signature in here yet, but the storm looks like it missed Sunset Elementary and Town Hall over in Nolensville as it moved into Cane Ridge, to a pretty populated area. And then as we moved it forward, it looked like, by the way, this is 4 screens of the same thing. This is looking for debris. It's measuring whether or not the objects in the air are the same as themselves or different. This is called NROT, which is way too complicated, you don't care. This is the traditional radar, and this is the velocity radar. So it looks like the storm is about to cross 24, right around 7:12 a.m. Circulation here is pretty difficult to discern as the storm approaches Laverne and is about to cross into Lakewood Village. But one of the things that I wanted you to see is as we get into Laverne, let me go forward here another frame or two. As it's in Lakewood Village, the circulation is starting to tighten up a little bit. And if you zoom in here, this is the marina. They got hit. There was some structural damage here as well, but this is where the marina is that got smacked. And it looks to me, and again, it's difficult to tell. It gets really noisy, but was probably the tornado formed right here around 7:18 a.m. With high values of normalized rotation over 1. We've got co-located here with extremely high winds. It matches the report that we had, and we had a little bit of shear that was coming in, and winds measured at least 50 miles an hour. These winds aren't blowing right at the radar precisely, so that might be undersampling exactly how strong they were. But yeah, we got a pretty nice little tight circulation right here as the storm was crossing into Rutherford County. And off it goes. From that point, it moved out into Rutherford County and out of Davidson County. So there you go. We had looked like at least 2 EF1 tornadoes in Williamson County. You could arguably say that there was 2 of them. But at the end of the day, it was a pretty strong tornado relative to what we've seen before. But we are blessed that nobody was hurt and certainly nobody was killed.